Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of GlenDronach 21 Parliament. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of GlenDronach 21 Parliament. This is the fifth instalment of my GlenDronach core range reviews, and Parliament is a 21-year-old single malt. It's aged in ex-Oloroso and ex-Pedro Jimenez casks. It's 48% ABV. It retails for £150 and it's natural colour. This particular bottle I have is non-chill filtered, but going forwards, GlenDronach bottles will be chill filtered. So, this particular whisky is named after a colony of rooks, which are known as a parliament, and they've lived in a tree nearby to the distillery for over 200 years. This particular bottle is potentially 24 years old. When the distillery reopened in 2002, it didn't have mature enough stocks to bottle a 21-year-old whisky, and it won't have until 2022. So this bottle from 2019 is potentially 24 years old. The graphic on screen now will give you an indication of the ages based on when they were released. So from next year, all 21-year-olds should be 21. Should we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. Right, so before I start nosing and tasting, let's have a look at the colour. It really is quite dark. I'd say that's like a polished mahogany. Let's start with the nose. Right, so I'm getting orchard fruits, like red apples, and maybe apple strudel. There's like that spiced cinnamon in there, and it reminds me of sort of stewed apples and apple strudel. Really is nice. There's like lovely sweet sherry note there. And like I pick up on some of the others in the range, there is like an ethanol sort of note. It is quite noticeable. Let's move on to the palate. Yeah, so like I get on some of the other GlenDronachs, this has a really creamy, velvety, thick, rich texture. When it interacts with the palate, it really does you know, become so oily and viscous in your mouth. There's like a creamy dark chocolate note, and that almost reminds me of like a chocolate custard. The way it thickens in your mouth, it really is an experience. And yeah, not like any other whiskey I've ever tasted. Let's have another sip. Yeah, so I'm getting lots of interesting flavours. On top of that chocolate, I'm getting like creme brulee. Really is like that caramelised sugar, and that sort of almost like warm custard note. There's like a vintage apple cider, you know, like a still cider, you know, and those bold, strong apple notes. That's really nice. There's like mince pies and candied fruit peel and shortbread biscuit, sweet pastry. Really is interesting. Let's have one more sip. Yeah, this is definitely a whiskey you want to take your time with. You want to take your time nosing and tasting, because the way it interacts with your palate, there's so much going on with that texture and that fruit and that chocolate. It really is something that you need to take your time with, and although there's not a large number of flavours on the palate, the combination of them is really working well for me. In terms of finish, there's those sweet dark fruits. There's little heat. It's not too noticeable, even at 48% ABV, not like some of the others in the range. And there's a little bit of dry wood, and in terms of the finishing strength, I'd say that's like a medium. But it has this lovely oily mouthfeel. That texture is sublime, and it's not like any other whiskey I've ever tasted. That sherry influence is at its maximum. It really is. The combination of the the way that the liquid has interacted with the wood, it really is nice, and it's very sweet without being sickly. But in terms of value, it's a £150 bottle, and you can find it cheaper. It's worth shopping around. You can, well, I'd say regularly find it around the £130 mark, but below that, if you keep your eye out, you can find it cheaper than that from time to time, so it's definitely worth it. It is that sort of, special occasion dram. You don't want to be drinking this too often because A, it's expensive, but also you don't want to take away from the experience it gives you. And I think if you got a bit too used to this, then you'd be having quite an expensive whiskey bill going forwards. But it really is a dram that if you can afford it, then yeah, I definitely recommend it. And yeah, savour it. It really is a lovely whiskey, and I'm so glad I actually bought a bottle of it. If this sounds like your cup of tea, I'll put a link in the description, and I'll see you for the next one. Saunter. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.